Greetings. This is Clove. Alright, I know it's been a long time since I've done any videos, but I'm getting back to it. I wanted to do the second part of the reusables for women's cycles, where I wanted to talk about why it's a good idea to consider using reusables. So I've been doing workshops, and I fine-tuned a worksheet that talks about basically the waste, like the trash, versus the reusable waste or leftovers from using disposables versus reusables. Now, it comes down to a very simplified form for me. So, in using disposables, women will fill up 6 30-gallon trash cans. One woman will fill up 6 30-gallon trash cans in her lifetime. Okay, and then if you have sisters, mothers, for your generation only, think about how big your community of women is. That's a lot of trash, and that's only being put out by women. And possibly, I'm told that there's some men that have to use certain types of reusable products as well. I don't know if it's for bleeding or some other issue, but yeah. Okay, but we're going to mostly focus on women. Okay, I don't know all those other issues. So, filling up 6 trash cans in her lifetime. Now, a woman's menstruation lifetime is 36 to 41 years. And if you want to know specifically what your menstruation lifetime will be, ask your mother and your aunts, or even your grandmother if she's willing to talk about the subject, to get an estimate on how long you will be having your cycle. Because it's usually similar to your mother's. It tends to run about the same length in families, okay, for the women. Okay, so that's one aspect. Versus the disposables of 6 trash cans versus not even 1 trash can, depending on what you use. Okay, a woman will fill up maybe half to only an eighth or whatever of 1 trash can in her lifetime if she uses reusables compared to using disposables, in which she'll fill up 6 cans. And I don't know about you, but I choose to live a little bit lighter on the earth in however I can, especially when it comes to disposables. I don't use a lot of them. We try to find anything we can do to reuse, have reusable stuff instead of just disposables. My biggest one that I haven't been able to break the barrier on is switching from toilet paper to cloths that you wash. I mean, we did it with cloth diapering for the babies. I don't see why we can't do it for our everyday needs using the body. But anyways, that's another issue. Okay, so 36 to 41 years of menstruation. When it comes to disposables, and my worksheet says it best very simply. I used an example of about 24 disposable pads per moon cycle, used once and then thrown away or trashed. And then in 10 years, that comes to about 312 disposables over 6 months to a year. And then that's 6 months to a year. And then in 10 years, it's 3,120. And then in 36 years, I did the minimum, and you can do however amount you find out is the history in your family. It comes to over 11,000, folks. Over 11,000 disposables used over a woman's menstruating lifetime. Okay, so now let's look at the reusables. Here's cloth pads. 16, 17 cloth pads. That is actually quite a lot. I don't use that much, but I use a combination of pads and sponges. So I probably put a little bit more product, but I still won't fill up 1 can now in my lifetime. Maybe, actually no, because half of my menstruating years I did use disposables, so I'm probably only going to put out 3 cans instead of 6. Okay. Okay, so here is sponges. Okay, now with sponges, they are a bit more disposable in the sense that you can only use them for 6 months to a year. So in 1 year, you'll use 2 to 4 sponges, maybe even more if you have a heavier cycle. Maybe you use 2, maybe you use a few more at a time, or you like to have extras because you're out at work, and so you keep so many to just reuse, and then you clean them all when you get home, that kind of thing. So this is just an estimate of a minimum amount, 2 to 4 per cycle, 6 months to a year. Okay, and then in 36 years, you may use 72 to 144 sponges, and these can be composted, folks. So you have a choice, throwing them away or composted, but still, that many you'll fill the bottom of a trash can, but you won't even fill one up. Okay. All right, and so now cups, menstrual cups, reusable. They can be used up to 10 years depending on the brand. And in 36 years, you may use 3 to 4 cups versus 11,000 with disposables. 3 to 4 reusable menstrual cups versus over 11,000. Okay? So which footprint would you like to leave on Mother Earth? I love that. So that's the difference of the impact you can have. 6 trash cans or less than 1. Okay? Whatever. And if you use sponges, you will be composting. You won't even leave anything behind it. It'll just dissolve away. Okay, then there's cost. Now, before we move to cost, I should say you would be making. This is a pollutive issue. This is a trash issue. This is a waste issue. Okay, and why it's targeted at women, I don't know, but that's a totally huge issue, right? Okay. So here's cost, and I have a little worksheet here for that. On the other side. Okay. So, so you take 13. I say 13 cycles because it can be 12 or 13 per, depending on the year. Okay, I just tried to do the maximum. Then the cost of the cost for a year. I guess it's cost for a year. And then you take the cost of disposables and stick it in there. Figure out how much it is for 36 years. It's all right there. And then here's the next one. 16 to 17 cloth pads, put in the cost to cover about 9 years. And then times that by 4, and you'll get the cost for 36 years of what it would cost you to use cloth pads. Next on this list is the websites that sell pads or sponges or any of those kind of things. And at the bottom of my list, I have the cups over here down on the bottom. But above that, I have the sponges. Okay, so the sponges are right here. 2 to 4 C sponges costs how much per year? Times by 36, and that's how much you'll get. I'm not sure if that's the cost per year or something I calculated, or if that's what that one is. But you can calculate it. And then this lists Sea Pearls, their website. Also, Glad Rags sells them, and sometimes the shipping from Glad Rags is a little better than from Sea Pearls, but still you can get better packages from Jade and Pearls. And also check, because the cost of these things goes up $1 or $2 every so often. So last time I checked, it was about $3, but it could be a little bit more now, like $17. Who knows? Then there's some of the names of some of the other brands of sea sponges here: Moontime, Jam Sponge, Luna, or Lynette's. You can also look under menstrual sponges, and then most sold in 2 in a package, and they have kits and some with panty liners. And then the menstrual cup, it's 1 for every 10 years. Now there are and then about 3 to 4 in your 36 years, and then the cost. Okay, and then here's the names of some of them here: Moon Cup, Lynette, Keeper, Diva Cup, and it comes to per cup, it's about 35 to 40. Now it might be about 38 to 45, something like that. So there's this interesting thing where they went from saying that they're usually good for 10. They used to all say they were about good for 10 years. Then there were some new products that came out. Now they say buy them every 1 to 2 years. So you need to look at it. And I would just say that's wear and tear. Like if for some reason the way you use your cups wears them out quicker, then you get a new one sooner. Otherwise, you only need to get a new one for the ones that last longer when, say, if you have a baby. And so that changes your cervix and all that and how it fits and everything. So it gets a bit wider after you have kids or after you reach a certain age. So there you go. So calculations, costs, how much trash you're putting out. You will save money on reusables, even with the initial investment in some options. These are the two main reasons. And the other reason, well, we'll have